Howdy, folks. It's the Creepy Kentuckian here.
And I'm Uncle Bill. How y'all doing?
I'm doing good. Happy Friday the 13th. We have a special guest on here tonight, Uncle Bill. Who we got up?
I wonder who it could be. Quite possibly one of my favorite actors of any Friday the 13th film. It's Mr. Ron Sloan, a.k.a. Junior Hubbard.
There is sound. Oh, my God. Hey, guys.
We're going to get the stew recipe tonight. That's what I heard.
Well, little critter in there. Just little critters.
So
hey, good seeing you guys.
Good seeing you. I mean, we've kind of known each other through just the original. You did the original DEADPIT show back. What was it? Close to 15 years ago.
Oh my God! Wow, you could have been arrested for that. I was quite young back then. Oh yeah, that was 15 years ago, and I gotta thank you because I owe you my success with conventions. I knew nothing about them. You guys turned me on to Sean Clark, Convention All-Stars. He's the man, the myth, the legend. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's the guy you want to be in contact with about the convention scene, for sure.
He's a good guy. And very fortunate. Carol and I are having a blast.
So what happened after that interview? I know you got Sean, and then what was the next couple of steps? You started doing conventions right after?
Well, it was interesting because the first convention I did was a new one in Texas, which was questionable. It definitely was questionable. It was supposed to be big, and it turned out to be small, and they had all sorts of problems. But it was a good introduction for me into the convention world. I met some really nice people that weekend. I hung out with Danny Trejo and Corey Feldman, and so that was pretty cool. And a little weirdness. There was one little incident at the end of the convention, which will lead into something later.
Okay. I think I know where you're going there, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's go back a little bit. I mean, for those that didn't check the original show out, talk about early on in your career, what led to you being an actor. I'm guessing you were how old were you when you first got your first role?
Well, I became union in 1976, so I was it was kind of fun because I started out as a page in the studio. I was working all the old Norman Lear shows like All in the Family, Different Strokes, Facts of Life, as like a glorified usher. And I got a break on a show called Steve Allen's Show, where I ended up being on the show. He interviewed me as an actor, and it got me my union card. And then I got little parts on like All in the Family and all those shows. I mean, they were called Under Fives. Even Glorified Extra would be called Special Business. But it got me started. So I was very fortunate at that time. I was in a Shakespearean repertory company. Yes, Junior knows Shakespeare. Who would think? Will Gear, Grandpa Walton on TV's Walton's Mountain. He had a Shakespearean repertory company, and a lot of top successful actors in that company. So I was in truly a wonderful time in my life, between being at the studio and watching behind the scenes all these top actors and directors and getting to work little microscopic parts, and really rewarding, very fortunate. And then being in the theater side with top people. I mean, like Charlton Heston came to our performance and made sure he met every single one of us. And that was pretty cool. And that man had more teeth in his head than anybody in my whole life ever met. And that guy's smile went up. True story on that. Yeah.
So moving from, I guess, TV and theater, like how did the part of Junior come about? Yeah.
Well, I used to do showcases. That's working up a 5-minute scene, and actually a dramatic theatrical scene. And a showcase is where let's say a casting director or an agent would go to during the week to look for new talent. And it was exciting. I did it for 2 years, so I definitely paid my dues on it. And one night, let's see, it was the Fountain Theater. Yeah, Fountain Theater. I was doing a showcase, and Pamela Basker and Fern Champion were there. And they're the ones that cast Friday the 13th. Or I should say, Repetition. Yeah, Repetition. And so I did an improv, I did my scene. I'm sorry. I just got a text and someone's looking for your link right now. I just got texted. They're trying to find you. How do I find you guys? What do I tell them?
Just DEADPIT.com. It should be up there.
Them.
Yeah.
Hold on. It's important.
Should have the YouTube link, or just search for Dead Pit on YouTube. It should pop right up.
Wait. I'm on right now. Search for Dead Pit on YouTube or DEADPITRadio.com. Talk to you later. Oops. Of course, Siri said Did Pit. Autocorrect.
Technology, it's just deadpit.com, yeah.
Radio.com. I hope you guys got that. DeadPitRadio.com.
Deadpit.com. I should get deadpitradio.com though.
Anywho, that was pretty funny. So yeah, they were there that night. They saw my theatrical scene. They said, and I was a big boy, as you knew. They said, "Hey, can you portray a hillbilly?" Oh man, I thought of my brother's friend who was just so goofy. He was Junior. I mean, he really was Junior. And I just jumped right into that character, and these guys were laughing, and I had an audition the next day for Repetition. So you guys probably know the story. I met Danny Steinman, walked in, and I did, they give you sides. I did, my lines from the movie, pretty much. And Danny was laughing his ass off. And he's all, as I leave, I'm going to love working with you, kid. And I was like, oh my God, and I'm getting excited. And Basker and Champion said to me, well, you have a call back tomorrow to meet the producer, Frank Mancuso Jr. So it definitely wasn't in my grasp yet, and I was, kind of walking on cloud nine, came back the next day, and thank God for Danny, because as I walked in, he said to Frank, he goes, I'm going to love working with this kid. He's going to crack your ass up. Boom. I got called the next day after that, and I got booked. So that was pretty cool. Right place, right time.
Yeah, a lot of the Friday the 13th movies, for some reason at the time, they did that with the name. Do you know why? I mean, were they just trying to keep...
Yeah. It actually was a secret. It was what's called a hot set. So they didn't want any of us to know. And don't forget, during that time, I mean, the 80s horror films were really pretty big. I mean, it was cranking. And by that time, Friday the 13th was a great franchise. Number one was so successful. It was crazy. And each one was very successful. When they got to us, they didn't want to let out any leaks. No, nothing. And I mean, for all of us to sit on a set and, I didn't know, and most of us didn't know. I can't speak for everybody, but most of us didn't know until like that first day of shooting. And it's really wonderful because you meet all your other actors, at least if they have a call that day. And I met a good handful of people, and the conversation was, hey, how do you die? I mean, it's like, well, I get speared while in the outhouse, or I'll get my head cut off. And everybody's like, oh, it's, it was fun. It was fun. And we're all sitting there bullshitting, and we were on like a break. And sure enough, Tom Morga walks by in full wardrobe. Tom played Jason. He was the stuntman that played Jason for Dick Wien. And so he walks by. He had the machete, and he looked at every single one of us in the eye, and we all looked at each other, going, "Oh my God, we're the Friday the 13th!" I mean, we were all excited anyway, but that like took it over the top.
That's amazing to know that you didn't know that was the film until you saw Jason. Yeah.
Right. The only ones that knew, I believe, were John Shepard and I think Melanie, because I was at a convention with her last weekend, and she talked about it a little bit. And most of us didn't know. Yeah. That was pretty exciting. Or maybe it was just me and I was in the dark and I was the only one that didn't know. But, no, it's my understanding.
I got to know, too, because you talked about meeting Danny Steinman, and we actually met him, spent a couple of days with him at a show, and he is an interesting guy. I'm curious as to what your experience was with him.
I'm lucky. Are you kidding, man? I'm lucky to be with Danny. First of all, yes, a lot of people, they want to know where Danny came from. And yeah, Danny did direct porno. Yeah. Which, but I did not have any nude scenes. So, well, really, they all got cut out. But I was naked on the motorcycle when I was riding around. But
that would kick that scene up quite a bit.
Do you remember, though, how long of a shoot, how long you guys were there? Because you guys were mainly separate from the other cast.
Right. Now,
most of the movie.
My particular shoot I was there 3 weeks. But in actual working days, I think it was 6 days. I mean, I'd be called in and I'd sit around, they'd shoot me, and I'd have to wait around and maybe have a scene. They always wanted to have you there. Uh-huh. Because at least back then, it was cheaper to have you on a weekly than a daily. Because if they go over something like 3 days, it's less money to have you there for a weekly. So I think they weren't sure exactly in the lineup how everything was going to be shot. But I think I had a total of 6 complete days. But I was there like 3 weeks. I didn't mind. The food was good. Junior,
You've had to have seen some interesting things though, like in that 3-week period of time. Just even if you were sitting around and stuff too, just kind of the interactions and stuff that went on the set.
Well, yeah, it was fun. I mean, any of the scenes that there was nudity, that was a closed set. I mean, nobody other than the cameraman and whoever else. So didn't get to see any of the naked stuff. But I did get to see a lot of the other death scenes, like Miguel's, and that was pretty. It was cool because we shot my scene and his scene the same night. So it was interesting. Or at least the scene where I'm fighting with John Shepard was the same night in the same area. So that was pretty cool.
That's actually pretty well choreographed. I was watching that again today, that whole fight scene and everything. It's not like, it's not bad. It's pretty good.
Well, yeah, not bad when someone really hits you and knocks you out. I mean, not bad when your voice is permanently 3 octaves higher.
Jesus. Well, up until that point, it's still well choreographed.
It looks so real.
I did get hit twice. Yeah, squeal, yeah.
Well, there's the scene, like, I was going to ask you about this, too. There's the scene towards the end of that fight where he, like, just kind of unloads like a bunch of body shots, and you had to get hit in that. There's no way because it looked.
I got hit first of all by the stuntman training John how to fight with me. I believe it was Dick Warlock, and Dick connected, and I was down. I was down for the count. John did exactly the same thing. And some of the scenes, it was definitely edited. But no, John knocked me down, and I was seeing stars for a while. So I'm not sure what was left in the movie and what's on the cutting room floor. Yeah.
There's a scene towards the end of it where he does some sort of like jumping front kick or something. They left that in, but that just looked bad. Like it looked like that wasn't.
Spoiler alert. The guy that falls on his knees, that was another stuntman. He actually kicked this guy in the crotch. He had whatever he had on. His name was Gene Harlan. And Gene was playing Junior. So, substitute Gene to get kicked in the crotch. Yes, please.
Well, how come they haven't gotten him at conventions? They get almost everybody from... I didn't know there was, up until, I think Sean Clark found him, there was another guy that played Jason in that movie, too. There's Dick Wynn and Tom Morga.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about Johnny Hawk until probably 6 or 7 years ago whenever he started doing conventions.
I was with, I met John, I think it was in Columbus, Ohio, at Horror Weekend. Because I didn't know it too until I was on a panel with the guy.
Oh, you That's so awesome.
We're all surprised. That's like...
yeah. So it was, that's pretty cool. But it's amazing, the whole convention scene. I'm amazed with it, I gotta tell you. Sitting with guys like Dick and Tom, the lines are endless with these guys. So.
Yeah, I mean, they've just done so much.
If you're a killer, your line is endless.
Yeah.
That's true.
You can quote me on that somewhere.
Now, as far as when the movie ended... You did a couple other small acting roles, I think. You were in a Tales from the Dark Side episode, which I watched recently, right? And you were turned into a piece of bread. A lot of people may not realize.
Nut bread.
Date nut bread.
Yeah, that was Renee Taylor, Joanne Willette, who was in one of the Halloween. You guys would know. Come on, this is a test.
One of the...
So anyway, so that was my first stage kiss. I just want you to know. First stage kiss was kissing Joanne Willette. I was a football jock, and that was a fun one. We got to rehearse at Renee Taylor's house, and she was married to Joe Bologna, who was a writer. They wrote comedy, and there was a life-size portrait of her over the fireplace. It was like in the Beverly Hills mansion. It was like, whoa. This is a trip.
Wow.
We had a good time, and that was a good episode. And after that, or right around the same time, was a movie called Bonsai Runner with Dean Stockwell. And if you watch that film, I'm wearing a lot of the same clothing from Friday the 13th in it.
And John Shepard's in that too, isn't he?
He is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious how that came about, like how the two of you ended up in the same film, like completely different kind of.
Yeah, and it was so funny because we were talking like at an interview or something, and we didn't know it until the time that we were both in the same movie, so it was pretty cool. They always keep me in the dark. I don't know why.
So you kind of end the acting thing. So what did you do at that point? Did you go back to school?
No, I didn't end it. I actually went into TV commercials. I did
TV commercials.
Oh, okay. I did a ton of TV commercials. Probably, yeah. I mean, like crazy amount. and I had a lot of fun. I mean, there's like Skippy peanut butter, and I did, Coors, and I don't know if you remember a drag racer, Tom the Mongoose McEwen. Does that ring a bell?
I remember the name.
Don the Snake Prudhomme. So I played his mechanic in a Coors beer commercial, and I was the only actor. And here I'm on a drag strip for 2 days. I mean, I had so much fun. These guys are drag racing, and of course the commercial never ran because Danny Sullivan, I think, got arrested for drunk driving. He was with Miller Lite or one of the Miller, and so they didn't want to show drag racing and beer associated with each other. So that commercial never ran, but I had fun.
So I'm curious, like with the commercials, how long did that go on for a long period of time after that, or
commercials and I had a blast with them, and I did quite well until I moved to Maui in 1999. When I moved to Maui, I had 7 commercials running, so I chose not to work for a while. Matter of fact, the last commercial I did was K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K. And it was Christmas time, and whatever the promotional little pendant was, and I get my kiss, and then they held it because they were going to run it for Valentine's Day, and then I end up in Maui and loved it. And I was there for 17 years.
Yeah, I mean, you could do worse than Maui.
Yeah, I worked a little bit there. I did a couple little commercials and some local stuff, and then I was flying over to Oahu about once a month for auditions. And I thought, this is crazy. I left LA where I was getting like 2 to 3 auditions a week, and now I'm paying a couple $100 to fly over to Oahu, rent a car, go audition, then they call you back the next day, and it was like, this is stupid. So I told my agent, I go, I'm pulling out for a while. And they go, oh, come on, one more. I go, no. They go, well, it's a new TV series. I go, no. Well, it was called Lost.
Oh.
I love that show. And I'm sure I could have found a place somewhere and somehow as something, one of the others maybe. I don't know.
So during the 17 years you were in Hawaii, did anybody recognize you from any of your roles or anything, or was it kind of?
I've been in art, selling fine art since I started in Maui. That was my first real gig, and it was maybe my second year, maybe my first year there actually. I'm in an art gallery, and we had a little painting, which I actually have one here of it. It's like this little cabin at midnight and the lights are on. It's just supposed to be a cozy feeling. It's called Midnight Snack by the artist Curtis Cost. And a guy comes in and he looks and he goes, oh man, that piece reminds me of Friday the 13th. Yeah, I was in part 5 of that series. And he's like, Junior! Just that quick. And he's like, oh my God, I gotta buy something. I go, why? He goes, I gotta have you sign it. And that was the first. I thought, wow, that's pretty awesome. And then it was like, wow, do I still look like I'm 245 pounds? I thought I lost some weight, But no, that was cool. And every now and then, I'm still in the gallery business. And every now and then I do get somebody and they know my lines better than I do. I'm serious. I think that's an honor personally that, I'm very fortunate on that.
It's just, that's just a series of movies where if you were in that, people grew up with that and watched it when they were kids and teenagers and adults. And it's like, it just goes on forever. Like, it's one of those things where.
It's true. Well, let's reverse roles. So here's the feeling. What if someone came up to you and said, hey man, I've been watching you since I was a little kid.
At this point, that's a possibility, I think.
Right, those are like, man, I must be old.
Yeah, I sort of get that feeling a little bit occasionally.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's just kind of funny, to do a double take and go, dude, how many years has it been? And so that's it. It's an honor, personally. It's an honor, but it also you're kind of going, wow, getting over here.
It's coming up on almost 40 years. Close.
Ow! Hey, I thought.
Yeah, you had to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, man. No, somebody else. Next year's my 50th high school reunion. I was like, man, I didn't talk to those people when I was in high school.
Yeah, that's you sound like me.
Not totally true. I have one or two friends left. Maybe
we were talking about this the other day when I spoke with you, though, and it's an interesting thing because when we started doing the show, Friday 5 was always one of those movies that we championed a little bit, and everybody was like, that was kind of the movie that everybody's like, why the hell do you like that? Jason's not even in it. That's always the excuse they gave, right? But fast forward now 15 years later, 5 is like almost everyone's favorite at this point. What do you think changed? I mean,
I think that's interesting because you have partially a different audience now. You have a younger audience that's now getting turned on to this, and I think their environment was different than the 80s environment. So, when you have diehard fans, back then they thought, oh, well, it's not the real Jason. This is a copycat thing. This isn't really a Friday the 13th. And, there's comedy in it. Why are there a couple of funny hillbillies? I mean, this is a serial killer, I just think attitude and time, and it's kind of like a memory. It's like, let's say you walk into a bake shop or something, you smell a cookie and you go, wow, my mom made those, and you think about your mom, and it brings a time that you go, wow, oh yeah, that was great. It's the same thing looking at some of these old movies on TV going, oh yeah, man, I remember sitting in the theater being scared to death of this, and walking home looking over my shoulder. So I think it triggers a memory, and people want to share that memory with their kids. Let me turn you on to something this was fun. I think that's how it sort of kind of works.
I'm curious too, all these many years later when you go to these shows, how many of the original cast are now doing conventions?
Well, the last one was Melanie Kinnaman, Dick Wien, Carol Locatell, of course myself, and Deborah Sue Voorhees, who, she's rocking right now. She's awesome. And you guys know she wrote and directed 13 Fanboy, which I'm very they have a starring role in.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing because I was you've got a great little promo thing that I hope people check out. It's on IMDb if anybody wants to go on there. Oh, they go. Yeah, like
new one, man.
Oh yeah.
It's not posted yet. The new one, that's like going to an ice cream store and looking at all this good stuff and going, oh, I want that one. That's how this the new trailer. If that doesn't make you go, I wish I could see that right now. It's amazing. It's amazing, and quite tasty.
Yeah. So as of right now, the movies come out October, right?
October 22nd is my understanding. The new poster I saw today. If you go on Facebook, Share Horror Group or you can go on my Facebook page and see a copy of it. It's pretty cool. It's cool. And
so, for the people that might not know, like, how did this movie come about, and kind of what can you tell us about it? I guess.
well, it's interesting. I'll take it from my personal experience, and then which was that first convention that we talked about in Texas. After the convention, a fan came up to me and said, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if you died in real life the way you died in your movie?" No, I don't think so.
No.
Thanks
What?
a lot. Have a day. Seriously, that happened and it kind of freaked me out. And I really wasn't going to do any more conventions after that. And the same fan went up to Deborah C. Voorhees and did the same thing. And it's taken about 15 years to come to fruition. Kind of sort of a basis of 13 Fanboy. There is a fan out there. In the horror world, there's the term final girls. Are you guys familiar with final girls?
Oh yeah.
Like Jamie Lee Curtis is a final girl. Dee Wallace is a final girl. These are women that never die in film. And that's the basis of this movie. There's a fan out there killing these women in real life. So if this is a thriller, kind of like Cape Fear, it keeps you on the edge of your seat, basically. The horror part comes to because it is a serial killer, and this guy's definitely twisted. So it's pretty awesome. And again, once you see the trailer, which will come out probably October 1st, it's not like the teaser or anything you've seen out there. This is addicting. I mean, I've seen it. I played it at the convention. At my booth, and every time I saw it, I still got goosebumps. So I mean, if that's not the test, it's either the air conditioning was too cold. I don't know.
Definitely great timing for it to come out because, as you know, and everybody checking this out knows, there's a big legal battle with the Friday the 13th franchise that's been going on for quite a while, and it's been like 12 years since the last movie.
I don't get it. That's okay. I mean, if two guys can't, work this out, then do it together. Partner up. I mean, I felt the franchise was more important but I understand it's all about mucho dinero.
Yeah, for sure.
Or Robert. I don't know.
It's really frustrating though.
Yeah,
it's kind of ridiculous because each year that the movie. I mean, I'm sure that Friday the 13th as a franchise is just as popular as ever amongst the hardcore fans. But the way that those movies make so much money is the casual fans too.
Oh, yeah.
So each year that goes by, I mean, those are kind of going more and more away, where you'll have to introduce that character to a whole new audience whenever they do finally. So, but like I was saying, I think 13 Fanboy, though, hopefully will quench the thirst of those Friday the 13th fans for the time being.
It's because this is the real deal. I mean, this isn't nothing against like fan films at all. I mean, I think fan films are awesome. I don't know if you saw Never Hike Alone or Never Hike in the Snow.
Yeah.
I mean, Vince DeSanti, Andrew Leahy, those guys are amazing. And I will be working with Vince at some point, probably next year on something. So, but yeah, you do have to keep it alive. You got to keep it alive. And I think 13 Fanboy definitely will keep us all going if you enjoy this genre. But if you're not into horror, you're still safe because the thriller part of this is a movie unto itself. I mean, this could almost be edited into just a thriller. That's what's a trip about it. And it was done extremely well. Yeah.
And it's interesting too that the writer and director Debbie Sue Voorhees is what we knew her as for a long time. She's going by
Right.
Deborah now. I mean, it's kind of crazy because normally you don't see that. You don't see someone she was very young at the time that movie was made.
Right. Right.
And then developed such an interesting idea for a movie, and the cast that you guys got back in the movie too. I mean, I'm seeing Kane Hodder is also in it.
Nice guy. Yeah.
Corey Feldman's back in it, who was in 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Goonies, one of my favorite movies too. So, and Tracy Savage. I mean, there's a ton of Friday alumni.
Yeah, J.D. Aronson, C.J. Graham. And CJ's a nice guy. I got to hang out with him a little bit on the set, or location, I should say. And of course, Deb is in it, and Carol Locketel. Oh my God!
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping that she was in it. That's going to be amazing.
She's in it, still giving me shit. Are you kidding? We have a convention scene together. She's a hoot, man.
Does she do the lines at like shows? I'm curious.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, that'd be amazing.
No, she's really so funny. She'll go, so is it okay if I give you the bird? I mean, she's everybody. Give us the bird. Flip us off. I mean, we'll do the photo ops, with like the rest of the cast and stuff like that. And she's the only one flipping off. Everybody wants that. And like when she signs, it'll say like, shut the fuck up, or you think so. I mean, her lines. And she has a printed out list. Okay, which one do you want? And she reads them to. I'll take that one. She's great. She's great.
Yeah, we actually did have her on back in the day as well, and she was very funny.
She
too.
is, yeah.
And didn't she teach acting and all that for a while? Or
I don't know. I know
Okay.
She played a hooker in Sharky's Machine with Burt Reynolds. Because people come up with Sharky's Machine posters, and she has a couple of pictures, and she's still signing on that. So that's pretty cool.
Didn't she say that the wig from Sharky's Machine was the
That's
one
right.
from... She just took it from her wardrobe and dirtied it up a little bit, and there you go.
Yep. Yeah. She's great, man. We had a blast at Flashback Weekend. If you've never done Flashback Weekend in Chicago, amazing convention. Me and Mike Kurtz, they're awesome, and they're actually opening up a drive-in movie theater, doing a whole big horror series of films. I think it starts on the 18th of September, called the Midway Drive-In. So maybe more people around the country will open up drive-ins again. I mean, I would go.
I think so, yeah.
I would love that. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean, I think with technology now, I mean, you need some sort of gimmick, really, because you can watch a movie at home.
Yeah.
It's way cheaper. Honestly, it looks about the same now because it's all digital, right?
True.
So, yeah, I missed the 35 millimeter. To me, that just added a lot more to the movie. I don't know, maybe it's in my head, but it just seems like you were actually watching film and not, hey, this is the same thing you're going to be buying on Blu-ray here in a couple months,
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. What's nice, though, with new technology, they are making digital somewhat looking like film. A few years back, no, you felt like you were in a soap opera. It had that look of, they're trying to look like film. Actually, and I feel with Deborah, this definitely looks like film to me. I mean, it's we had an amazing cinematographer, Ben Meredith, and he's awesome, man. So he made this look fantastic.
So are you guys? Do you know if it's going strictly theatrical, or are you going to try to?
It's. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's my understanding that initially it's in 10 major cities, It's with a company, I believe it's called In Demand, which is like a video on demand company. It's also a Blu-ray DVD, and it will be streaming. So I mean, it's doing the full gambit as far as I know. So that's pretty cool. And then it will expand out. I'm helping arrange right now something in the Bay Area in San Francisco at the old Roxy Theater, which would be a lot of fun having a premiere there. You know.
Going back though, the premiere of Friday the 13th Part 5, was there a premiere? Did you go to it?
Well, you know, there was 2 screenings. The one at Paramount, and it's so funny because, and maybe it's just getting old, I don't totally remember that one. I mean, I remember the one in Westwood. Mm-hmm. The one in Westwood, because I remember having family and friends. The one at Paramount, you know, you're watching a screening. It's not that same energy like being in a theater and hearing people, you know, bust up and laugh. You know, the one at Paramount was a small group of people. Being in a huge theater, and wow, and you're bigger than life. I mean, you're like, holy, I'm a big guy. You know? What a slob! Oh my god. Yeah.
What was your impression of the film and like your performance the first time you saw it?
Well, you know, that's a good question. I liked what I did. I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't laughing at myself per se. I was laughing at the situation. I loved my relationship with Carol, and also reminiscing the fight scene and getting hit, and just what happened on location. As you're watching it, memories are popping in along with what you're watching. I was trying to watch it just for the value of the film, and I thought it was really good. And I was not a horror buff. You know, I had seen the first 2 Friday the 13th, and I didn't have a reason at the time to go to the 3rd or the 4th. It wasn't something I was into sci-fi. You know, I like aliens and that kind of stuff. So it was interesting watching it in the theater, and I had a blind date that night and watching her reaction, which was not good. A happy camper. I think she thought she was dating Junior. True. It was very true. So, no, it was exciting for me to watch it. And hearing the laughter, I think, was the most rewarding thing. It's one thing to think you're funny, you know, I mean, think you accomplished the comedy part of it. It's another thing to hear it and go, wow, you know, people dug it. I mean, there was a lot of laughter. Carol and I together, and I can't take total. I mean, Carol's hilarious, you know. I'm along for the ride on the motorcycle. She was really driving that bike. It wasn't me. You know, she was hilarious. I mean, I could just bounce off of her. You know, I mean, luckily my character meshed perfectly with hers.
Very cool. So as far as the cast goes, did everybody on the set get along? Or is there any sort of... I know John Shepherd had some sort of... what was the story with him? Wasn't he playing like... what would you call a straight role?
Well, he was definitely...
in character.
Oh, yeah. Like method acting?
Method.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, he was playing a mental patient. Well, see, that's interesting because he's a method actor, and I'm a method. Did it for 3 years, the Stanislavski method, and that's brutal acting class. That's brutal, and I understand John wanted to be to himself, and he didn't totally socialize. I actually spent more time with John and talked with him at a couple of conventions, and we became friends that way. We did become friends on the set because we had a mutual fight scene together, and that whole thing that we had to rehearse. So, there was the conversation of, okay, you're going to do this and you're going to do that, and that sort of thing, and hanging out that way. It's interesting when you talk method acting, and this is just me. I don't know if I've ever shared this publicly, but the gas tank, if you look at the gas tank on my motorcycle, it's like this primer gray color. It was an old Yamaha. And for me to get into this whole tears and crying scene over and over and over again, I looked at that, and that tank was the exact same color as my grandfather's casket. So all I had to do was look at that color, and that's called sense memory. And that brought the tears to my eyes. And it could bring tears to my eyes now if I really focused on it. But that's the method. It's touching the keys that get you to that point that you can rely on over and over again. So these top actors, I have the utmost admiration for that can truly, dive into that, and they're done in their souls.
It seems like John too. He kind of distanced himself from the movie for a long time, but recently he started doing shows and all that. What do you know if anything changed or?
I haven't seen him. I saw him. I can't remember the last convention. I don't know if he was at Whorehound or Monster Mania. We did one together. It was so great seeing him. I mean, there is a kindred spirit there. It's like one of those things. Yeah, it's just a good thing. It puts a smile on my face, and it's great to see him. And I know he's directing. I don't know if he's producing. I know he's directing like religious films and that sort of thing. So I hope our paths cross. I would love to work with him, but not in a fight scene. I mean,
yeah, probably not.
he owes me, man. I take that shot.
But what a great cast in that movie, though. You had Miguel Nunez, Tiffany Helm, Carol. It's everybody in that film.
Yep. Very good cast. I mean, and everybody's, at least guys like me, at that time, somewhat newbies. I mean, I was doing TV commercials and stuff like that, and little bit parts on shows. I did a soap opera with Bill Bixby. It was called True Confessions. Of course, it never really made it in any way, shape, or form. But just things like that. I think it was a good break for many of us. And some of the other guys did come from other horror films. I know Miguel did a number of horror, and I think it was Juliette Cummins. Also came from some other horror films.
I know we touched on it early, that the painting back there. Now that's
I like to give credit. Let's see, I should turn on the
Did you have that in your art gallery or no?
This was painted, and this was the guy that was texting me, so I hope he figured out how to get onto your show. Neil Warner, and Neil, tremendous, talented artist himself, not because of this painting, just by that. He was an animator and animation director. And back in the 70s, we split an apartment. He was doing animation, I was doing acting, and it was cool. It was cool. So he gave that to me as a gift, many years ago. And and I thank him for it. Yeah, he's still a musician in a band called the Tuners. He has a comic strip out called Paper Cuts. And brilliant, talented guy, very talented.
And I've actually seen from some pictures that you still have the severed head.
Yes,
from the movie.
I do.
Oh, wow.
So that's something you bring with you at conventions and stuff, right?
Yep. Yeah, try to go through TSA. That's a lot of fun. You know, it's so funny. For whatever reason, this last convention, I got searched twice. And it's never happened before. And we're not just talking about going through your bag. The gentleman goes, "Sir, would you like to step in another room with me?" And I'm like, "Not really."
No.
And I got pat down twice. I was like, I don't get it. You know, I mean, it's okay. I understand. You got a severed head in your bag. It's just, not to mention the other stuff. But I'm very fortunate to have that. It was given to me a couple years later.
Yeah, I can tell you. I mean, occasionally you'll see props from other horror movies, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger props. Very, very rarely do you see any screen use stuff from any of the Friday the 13th movies.
Well, Dick Wien has his death cast. You know, he has it in a plexi box. I saw it really for the first time. I had never seen it before, just last weekend. And that looks real, man. I mean, this thing is aging, better than Dick. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Dick. Love you. Yeah. It definitely looks scary. It does. I did see actually, there's a picture of me with the car from Halloween, the very first Halloween, the silver Ford station wagon that Michael Myers drives.
Right.
I was in it. This last weekend, and Nick Castle, you guys know Nick?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So I was lucky. Carol and her husband, Greg, are dear friends with Nick. So they invited me to join them for dinner. He's an interesting guy, man. Interesting guy. If you go on IMDb and see his credits, they're like a mile long.
Yeah, he directed like Dennis the Menace, like a whole bunch of stuff you'd never think of.
The Boy Who Could Fly is a really good one that he did, I think, too, back in the 80s.
And he's got like 200 credits to his name, man. And he wrote a lot of scripts. And we didn't talk business at all, so that was pretty cool. Out of respect, I didn't get nerd on him and go, "Oh man, I think you're awesome." I kept that down. It's like, we're down. We're sharing some French fries. That's it.
You got a question here about a particular convention, Monster Mania in New Jersey.
It was 11 years ago, I think, something like that. And it was a really nice reunion. I would love to go back. That's Dave Hagen and Doug Hagen. Dave, nice guy, and we had a blast at that one. And I think it's going on this weekend right now. Coming up, I think it is.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, I think, is going to that one. And you had mentioned the other day that you may be doing a show in Kentucky possibly next year.
If I'm connected to it, I would definitely do it. This year, it would have been nice, but I know it's the same date as our premiere for 13 Fanboy. So, but yeah, if I got invited, Carol and I would be there in a heartbeat. Of course, I'd have to go to Bowling Green and see the Corvette Museum.
I've been by it a couple of times. Yeah, I've never been in it, but I've been by it.
Yeah, no, Corvette guy from way back. But that'd be fun.
Very cool.
Yeah, so make it happen, man. You can be my agent. That's it. No, you can't be my agent.
Be your Kentucky agent.
No, we'll be the Kentucky agents.
Oddly enough, Melanie is doing she's doing like a haunted hayride thing that's like 20 minutes from her house in October. Who? Melanie Kinnaman.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Like, they never have anything like that close.
I've got to wonder if she doesn't have like family in Kentucky or something. There's got to be something to it. I don't think so.
No, she's from like New York City. Yeah, New York City and Kentucky don't go together.
Melanie's a sweetheart. I mean, she is a sweetheart. And back in the day, one night that we shot, she asked me for a ride home. And I went, "Oh, sure," Well, I didn't realize she lived in Hollywood, and I was staying at my parents' house at the time in Thousand Oaks, California. So I had to drive like an hour and change each way. And it was a late night shoot. I mean, I got home at like 2 a.m. And it was the night actually my fight scene. I still had like blood and all sorts of stuff. And I remember knocking on the door because I had locked myself out. My mom answers the door and I'm all bloody. And she like screams like, "Come on, Mom, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's just makeup. It's just makeup." But yeah, she was a sweetheart. It was nice seeing her last weekend.
So, but again, we just wanted to let everybody know that the 13 Fanboy movie, you said October the 22nd.
October 22nd.
That's the plan, right?
Looks like the scheduled release date all around the board. There will be a premiere in Los Angeles. I'm not sure what other cities. It looks like there'll be a premiere in San Francisco. I know it's 10 major cities, and then I'm sure it'll go out other places from there. We got picked up by a distributor a couple weeks ago. So it'll be exciting to see the pattern and the path this goes. I do truly believe this is a new thriller classic. This is something you're going to want to see more than once. It's not like, okay, I saw it, done. No, this is going to be one of those things you'll probably want to see again and again and again.
Maybe there's some sequels.
I don't know. I have no idea on the sequel part of this. I know Deborah has ideas, but she's also opening up other venues for other films. And so I'm excited about that. That's pretty cool, man. I gotta admit. And Dee Wallace, oh guys, Dee, that lady, she's the best, man. She fed me so much and brought out so much in me. That's the type of actor or actress you want to work with, that brings out the best in you, so they can bring out the best in themselves, and you go back and forth. And I was lost in that world. It wasn't like, if you're thinking about acting, then you're really not acting, if that makes any sense. If you're thinking about what you're doing, then it's too mechanical. I was in the moment with her, so everything came out. The lines are second nature. So, you're not thinking about, okay, I saved this here. It's not like that. It flowed, man. It opened up. It was so beautiful. And she definitely pushed my buttons in it.
Yeah, she has. I've seen some interviews with her where she talks about acting, and she's really passionate about, the performance and what she's doing and just the method and everything. I mean, some of the stuff that she talks about, especially on like some of the earlier films that she did, where she was really immersed in it. I could see how she would be great with the energy that she has too.
It's crazy that how long her career. I mean, we're going back to the first movie I can remember her in was The Hills Have Eyes, the Wes Craven movie from the mid '70s, right? So, I mean, she's just done so much. I could imagine working with her would be like a dream for sure.
Well, she told me she's done over 200 films and TV, and and she's such a pro. I mean, beyond pro. And there was no ego. That's what's cool about Dee. I mean, I've worked with a few people before where it's like, give me my space type scenario, and you didn't really exist but to do your part, and that's it. No, she was totally accessible. Any ideas, anything, everything. So that was really good. I have the utmost respect for her.
Yeah.
Cool. Ron, we appreciate you taking all this time. I didn't realize we've been on here for well over an hour.
Man, it just seems like 5 minutes.
No,
that's very cool.
Yeah, it's always good speaking with you, and hopefully we can do it again, and it's not 15 years later.
I'll see you in Kentucky next year.
That sounds good to me.
You'll make it happen, man. I just got this feeling. I see a can of our stew going to you.
We're gonna find a company to make Mama's stew in a can, right?
Well, I don't know if you saw the pictures like on my Facebook page or from the convention. Ethel's stew in a can. You gotta look. These things like were flying off the shelf. It was hilarious.
Really? Okay, I didn't know. I really okay.
No, it started something fun. And
I would totally buy one of those.
Well, there's a wonderful guy who's in 13 Fanboy, Jason Bradford. He's in the movie, and he actually designed the label on Ethel's stew, best goddamn stew in the whole wide world. And I just for fun, I printed up some sticky labels and I put them on some cans, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, will you sign this? Yeah, Carol, they want to sign. Next thing I know, Carol and I are ordering cases of like canned corn or beans or chili. I brought a bunch of labels, and there I'm working, putting on labels at the convention because a lot of people want them.
Wow.
It is hilarious. It is hilarious. And he did
That's great.
Signing it. Pretty priceless.
Yeah, for sure. But we thank you for coming back on here, and it's great speaking with you again, and we look forward to the movie 13 Fanboy coming out in October 22nd.
October 22nd, don't go alone. That's all I got to tell you. I think it's like the quote I did a couple years ago for Indiegogo, the old quote from Aliens in Space, no one can hear you scream. Well, in the theater, everybody's going to hear you scream in this one. I mean, this is going to scare the crap out of you. It's just, it's good. It's definitely a scary film.
Sounds
thank
amazing.
you. You guys, thank you. Good weekend. Happy Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Watch part 5, everybody.
Many blessings, guys.
All right. Take care.
See you, Ron.
Take care, Ron.
Be well.
See you.
Bye.
So there we had it. The man, the myth, the legend, Junior Hubbard himself, Ron Sloan.
I just don't know if you could ask for any more out of an interview with Ron Sloan than that. That was amazing. And
yeah, he's a good guy. Thank you all for checking this out, for sure. This was kind of an experiment, too, because we'd never done one like this. We've had DVD guys on and stuff like that, so I think this went pretty good.
Yeah. Biggest part of it for me was just worrying about anything technical kind of difficulty would have happened, but it didn't really happen, so I'm thrilled about that. And it was great to hear about the movie that's coming out. I hope everybody will support that kind of movie because, I mean, it sounds great. And hopefully at some point we can get old Debbie Sue on here too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can make that happen. Ron said we just got to drop Junior's name and she'll be like, okay, let's do it. So
we'll be like, Junior sent us.
Junior sent us, Kentucky. We're from Kentucky, but we're good hillbillies.
And then we'll get a restraining order. That'll be the next thing that happens.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, she was one that we always wanted to get on the show, and it'll be interesting too. Maybe we should get her around whenever that movie's getting ready to come out.
Yeah, around Halloween.
Because at one point in time too, it seems like she was one of those that was kind of distancing herself from the movie for a while too. But something changed.
I just get the feeling that there's a lot of people that made these movies that have no idea that they still had any kind of following. So I'm not sure if they were distancing themselves or they're just like, well, nobody really gives a shit about this anymore.
Didn't know.
Yeah, just didn't have any idea.
There's a couple of people that I don't think have ever done. I don't think Juliette Cummins has ever done a convention.
I've never seen her do one. I can remember.
She's done like 2 or 3 different movies, like genre, franchise stuff.
Yeah.
She was in Psycho 3. She was in Slumber Party Massacre. I think Slumber Party Massacre 2, something like that. So
I'm curious. Has Tiffany Helm ever done one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I would love to meet her.
She was at the Horror Hound one in, I think it was 2014, 2015, when they had that big reunion in Columbus, which I don't know what we were doing, but we didn't go to that for whatever reason.
That's a shame. Like, I don't know what the hell. Why not?
Yeah. But, yep, I guess that is it. We appreciate everybody checking the show out. It was on Friday the 13th, so for everybody spending part of their Friday the 13th with us, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Ron for sure, because that was amazing. And, I don't know, have a happy Friday the 13th. Definitely watch part 5.
Yeah.
It's a great
Stay
movie.
tuned. Yeah, I'm watching the rest of part 5 here in just a little bit, because Sarah and I watched about half of it earlier, and she was like, well, this one seems like it's going to be pretty good. And I was like, yep, it's like the best one.
Yeah, it really is. That's the weirdest thing. Like, as far as entertainment value goes, part 5 is the best one. It just is. The whole cast, the film itself, it just is.
So, everybody, happy Friday the 13th. There is actually a special show that's going on tomorrow, Uncle Bill. We should hype up a little bit, because it's Captain's Quarters, Saturday the 14th Spooktacular.
That's right. He's going to be talking about Saturday the 14th, the movie. Saturday the 14th Strikes Back. No, he's not. I don't know what he's going to be talking about. Scream, I think, the new 4K, and he talks about anything and everything on there too.
I tried to tell him. I said, you just talk about whatever the fuck you want to, but give the show name a gimmick. That gets people to watch.
Yeah.
Maybe. So, but that is it. We appreciate everybody checking it out. I'm not sure what's next, but whatever is next, you'll find out all about it, baby. Over at DEADPIT.com.
That's it. My final word.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. DEADPIT on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old DEADPIT radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. DEADPIT on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.